the Badlands. Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Mr. Vice President, I'm going off script again, I know, but I just want to personally thank you. We've been through some stuff. We've gone through some of the most complex military operations this country's ever conducted, and your steady hand and your leadership during those was a great source of strength for me. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your character. Thank you for your selfless service. Thank you for commitment. Thank you for being a mentor to me, Mr. Vice President.
It's called the swamp. And you know what happened? And you know what I did? A big favor. I caught the swamp. I caught them all. Let's see what happens. Nobody else could have done that but me. I caught all of this corruption that was going on, and nobody else could have done it. Did I get that one right? Every 4 years, we gather on these steps to carry out the orderly and peaceful transfer of power. Today's ceremony, however, has very special meaning, because today we are not merely transferring power from one administration to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people. For too long, a small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government, while the people have borne the cost. Washington flourished, but the people did not share in its wealth. This American carnage stops right here and stops right now. The forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer. From this day forward, a new vision will govern our land. From this day forward, it's going to be only America first.
This is a president of the United States who is a danger to the republic.
America first.
He knows he's an illegitimate president.
The oath of office I take today is an oath of allegiance to all Americans.
The great Trump recovery.
America will never be a socialist country. I will fight for you with every breath in my body.
Russia, Russian, pro-Russian, Russian, Russia, Russian, 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 the Russians. Russian.
Russia, Russia, Russia.
And I will never, ever let you down.
A dangerous virus is spreading rapidly in China, and U.S. officials are very worried that it could come here.
This is really the worst attack we've ever had. This is worse than Pearl Harbor. This is worse than the World Trade Center. There's never been an attack like this.
The time for empty talk is over. Now arrives the hour of action. What they're doing is using COVID to steal an election. Together, we will make America strong again. You know what it's about? Fraud, fake ballots. We will make America wealthy again. They are trying to steal the election.
Now, under the leadership of President Trump, we are fully realizing President Kennedy's prescient view of Special Operations Forces.
We will make America proud again. And watch, please, those mail-in ballots. We will make America safe again. And in millions and millions of ballots, their vote is under what they thought they needed. They're dumping more ballots in there, okay? And yes, together, we will make America great again. Thank you. God bless you. If we are right about the fraud, Joe Biden can't be president.
Congress, the chair declares the joint session dissolved.
Well, it's not afternoon, is it? Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Devolution Power Hour. As always, on Wednesdays, I'm joined by Burning Bright. How are you doing, sir? You said the stream is glitchy?
It was, during the intro, it was a little glitchy for me. I don't know if it was my interwebs, but the people are telling me that Rumble has been acting a damn fool today.
Damn fool. Well, that's no good.
Yeah. So, well, they've been dealing with it lately, I feel like. So maybe it's them. It could be the North Dakota internet, but
well, sure. I do see that my computer says I need to update it. Hopefully there's no issues. I've left that thing on the read for a while before, and it's been fine.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Seems fine right now, but
you guys in the chat, if there's any streaming issues, let me know, and I'll just leave and go update and come back later. Texas Tawny says John sounds tired. I feel tired.
A little bit.
A little tired.
Many such cases.
I didn't tune in to the info war at all today. I've been working on this little special side project, and I heard
rerun.
What?
It was reruns today. It was just syndication.
I heard we got a peace deal.
Syndication stage. Well, yeah, but we all knew that was going to happen. So.
Well, did we though?
From a certain perspective.
I feel like it's a rug.
It might be a strategic rug. The rug may not be on us. I think we've got some angles we can go into.
I like angles.
But yeah, there was some big stuff today. The rug was Comey just being like, I'm not guilty for the stuff I'm definitely guilty of. That was almost an afterthought.
Oh, did we expect him to be like, yeah, I did it? Because I didn't.
Right. No, so that's just, just him teasing.
We are on what, almost day 8 now of the government shutdown?
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
About the government.
Let's see if I can find that. You forgot about the government. I did do a poll yesterday on Twitter, like, have you noticed anything from the government being shut down? And like 96% of people said no.
Right.
So that was kind of cool.
At any second, John, the roads are going to break. Every hour we delay giving Chuck Schumer money, your local Bismarck roads are in jeopardy.
Yeah, they're
nothing else, but that.
Bismarck roads are something else, man. The winters we get here.
Roads.
Do we though?
Well, I feel like roads are kind of necessary, but
yeah,
I don't think the government provides them.
There's a pyramid scheme here because one, how has there not been any advancement in pavement technology?
Yes.
Ever, basically.
Since Rome had it totally, you know about that, right? Like Roman concrete. That shit is still
concrete.
Concrete. Wow, how do you say it?
Concrete, and you're like concrete.
Yeah, the second emphasis, concrete.
Okay.
So the Romans' concrete is still there, still pretty sweet.
And their government has shut down a few times, I feel like. It might not even be active right now.
They've been in a lengthy shutdown.
Yeah.
And I don't believe Rome was a real place, by the way. I think it was Tartaria. I'm not going to give the Italians any unnecessary credit. More so, if you ever met enough Italians, there is no way you would believe that they had that kind of an empire.
Yeah, I don't know too many Italians. But I don't get, like, so I don't know how it is there. I'm assuming it's the same. It's in North Dakota. They are constantly, it's like every summer, they're just constantly working on the same road every year.
Yeah.
It never stops. They
it is
complete
a
the project
scheme.
and then start over. Yeah.
Yeah, it's planned obsolescence, I think, and they've got to justify the budgets for local works. So that's what they do. And then you start looking into town politics, and you see that the town treasurer, the Scott Bessent of Bismarck, probably is really good friends with the top contractor that usually gets the job for repaving the same roads every single spring and fall.
Also, in your area, do they have the one person holding the stop sign getting paid a ton of money to just sit there on their phone holding the sign?
Yeah, usually giving very vague signals that could be interpreted in either direction. But if you don't know if this means, like, come forward or definitely do not come forward, they will yell at you because they're upset at you misinterpreting them.
You know, we may not have any issues with corruptions like the treasurer of North Dakota giving jobs to his friends because, I mean, I don't want to be too judgmental, but I can't imagine this guy has any friends.
Probably not. Yeah, I think you're safe there. Although one of the problems in my area, speaking of roads, that I'd like to get Chuck Schumer's opinion on is the narrowness of the roads in proportion to ambulances driving down them.
You're still sour about that, huh?
I'm pretty sour about it, man, until I get my car back and the money that I'm shelling out every day for a rental in the interim.
Do you really need your car back? It's a Subaru, bro.
I need to be able to take Baby Bright around. He's got a lot of errands.
Sure. Sounds like a Miss Bright problem. You have a stroller, don't you?
Yeah.
You got 2 feet, don't you?
With her, man.
I will not do that. I hope she's not watching right now.
She's in chat as we speak.
Miss Bright, I think I hate John.
I decided on that a long time ago.
I was waiting. I haven't gotten any like angry messages from her in a while, so
those usually start like 2 weeks before Gart. We're still outside of the window.
Which, by the way, oh man, I don't even have that up yet. Let me do that. I don't know where I have it. When did I last promo Gart? It would have been on Daily Herald.
You could just go to the website and share your screen. We don't.
Yeah, but it's really cool if I can just pop it up at the bottom here. But yeah, that would have been easier. Yeah, guys, go to badlandsmedia.tv/events. We have one upcoming here soon, November 6th through the 9th. It's going to be a great time. Cocoa Beach is a fantastic location. Should have a good crowd. Got all of our speakers there. We're working on getting a special guest. No promises. Also, virtual tickets are on sale, and they are at a discounted rate through the 15th. So if you know you can't make it in person, but want to watch it anyway, normally get a virtual ticket. Not only are they cheaper than normal, but we've also discounted them even further. So badlandsmedia.tv/events.
Also, if you do get a virtual ticket or an in-person ticket today, we're doing our first exclusive live stream for ticket holders tomorrow afternoon at some point. 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, something like that. You will get an email with the link to that exclusive stream in the afternoon tomorrow if you have a ticket. And if you can't watch it live, you'll have access to replays on that. We're going to do those probably each week leading up to Gart.
So what time do you think it's at? Guess.
My guess is 2 p.m.
2 p.m. what? Yeah, you're right. You nailed it.
All right, nice.
Nailed it.
2:30, Mrs. Wright says, which is like, who puts things on the 30s?
Thing in the chat says 2.
Wow. Mrs. Wright's kind of like falling apart a little bit. I feel like she's unraveling.
Oh, well, and then now, okay, so what she said in the speaker chat is 2 p.m. Eastern. Oh, it's going out around 2 p.m. Eastern. I see that. Okay, now it makes sense. She was right, as usual. I disavow myself and take back everything I said.
All right. But yeah, that should be fun.
Yeah, okay, well, we got to get to one more sponsor, or a sponsor. I don't think we've done one yet. I'm like delirious right now. I've gotten little to no sleep last few days. This should be an interesting episode because of that, because of me not really being checked into politics lately. But I'm excited to talk about some things. We're going to talk about insurrection-y stuff, I feel like, probably. We're probably going to talk about the Jews, I guess, Israel peace deal and that situation. I don't know what else. You had a couple topics, didn't you?
Yeah, I think, well, the peace deal thing is big, as you said. One of the things I happen to be writing about it this week, I'm doing an article called The Wolf of Main Street. See how clever that is? Clever that title is?
Yeah.
And about Scott Bessent. And I talked about this a little bit with Chris last night. But he kind of made the news indirectly today and last night. I think it was yesterday that Carolyn Levitt was talking about how they've got the Treasury Secretary helping them with the Antifa investigation. And we have talked on this show for a few weeks about how there is a George Soros Antifa NGO narrative that Donald Trump has been surfacing and layering throughout the summer and escalating. And had predicted a lot of these kinds of things. So I think that was a lot of signal today. Trump held a roundtable that I think we should do a section on, all about Antifa. There were some gay aspects of this roundtable and people patting each other on the back, but besides that, there was some signal here, I think, to the long-term theories, whether it's Q-drops or InfoWar, whatever, of long-time mapping and just how far all that stuff goes.
So my question is, you had a topic to bring, and instead of just saying Antifa stuff,
yeah,
we got that word salad. That's cool. Yeah, there's a clip. It sounds like Trump allegedly is saying we're close to figuring out who's funding them. So we'll play that clip. Let's talk a little bit about CB Distillery, because they are the sponsor of tonight's show. Got to give them a quick shout. We also have one other sponsor we'll get to. You know what? I should probably put that one. Oh, I already did. Look at that. I'm way ahead of it. CB Distillery, guys. You know those nights when you just don't sleep, and the next day you're dragging, exhausted, and everything just feels that much harder? Kind of like I feel right at this moment. That's where CBD from CB Distillery can make a real difference. But it's not just sleep. CB Distillery has solutions that work with your body to help with stress, pain after exercise, and even mood and focus. And it's all made with the highest quality clean ingredients, no fillers, just premium CBD. Imagine waking up rested. Cannot imagine that, actually. Or enjoying your day without those nagging aches and pains. That's the real win of CB Distillery's solutions. That's why over 2 million people trust CB Distillery. I do honestly love the sleep one that they have, and I'm out currently, but that stuff is my jam. Especially when
Can you give them to babies?
That's a good question. I'm pretty sure my kids are
not.
still awake like right now, by the way.
And I loaded them up.
Yeah. No, I need some so I can load them up.
John hotboxed them in the driveway. Just
they're so ridiculous lately. Nobody sleeps in this house anymore. So
yeah,
dumb.
Mine either.
But you have an excuse. Yours is a baby.
It's the 9-month regression. You know?
Just
not to be
month.
Confused with these 6, 7, or 8-month regressions.
Each one's its own thing. I never finished that ad read, did I? Anyway, 2 million people trust CB Distillery. So if you're ready for better sleep, less stress, and feeling good in your own skin again, you got to give it a shot. Try CBD from CB Distillery, and right now you can save 25% off your entire purchase. Visit CB Distillery and use promo code DPH. That's cbdistillery.com, promo code DPH. Specific product availability depends on individual state regulations.
I don't know what Dak meant with his little rant here. $20, BB, use your cut to buy a new Subaru? Can't be that expensive, just saying. Friends, please accept this as a challenge to help BB buy a better car. What do you mean my cut?
I think you're a cut of tonight's rants, probably.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought he meant my haircut, because I did get one last week.
It is a lesbian haircut, so I get it. If he may have meant that.
I feel like we have the same haircut.
No, mine's short on the sides.
Mine's
yours is more. Yours is a little more lesbian.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, I'll accept it.
Lesbians do the straight up thing. I feel like when it's that short. But it's got to be out. Mine's probably a little lesbian too. It's okay. But you drive a Subaru, so it fits.
Not right now. Right now, I'm driving a very oversized Jeep as a rental.
Just don't go down that one road again. Don't drive by ambulances.
I can fit down that road now. Yeah.
Oh, so funny. But thanks for the rant, Dak. Appreciate you, buddy. Is Dak coming to Gart on the beach? I don't think I've heard.
I know Dak's been dealing with it, just like we've been dealing with it with some stuff. So shout out to the Dak family.
Yeah. Hope his granddaughter's doing well.
Yeah. So I don't think so, but I'm sure we will see Dak at a coming Gart.
Dak says no. No. What the hell, man? No, I'm just kidding. Appreciate you, buddy. Okay, let's play this clip first. This is the Antifa clip I was discussing. Let me just get a couple of these things out of the studio here. And this is from our good buddy over at The Storm Has Arrived on Twitter.
Nice.
The Clips King.
At universities, Antifa is...
Can you hear the audio, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we do have a couple of rants come through here quick. Let's read these first. It has been discovered that $7,000 is the equivalent in purchasing power to the 30 pieces of silver given to Judas Iscariot for selling out Jesus Christ. It's from Robert L.
Is that... I could see that being true. I also, if it's not true, think it's funny. So I approve either
great.
way.
That's a great rant. Great rant. Also, Secrets, are you coming to Guard? Because I haven't seen you since Deadwood, like two Deadwoods ago, I believe. For Miss Bright's Ford Bronco Raptor. Does Miss Bright have one or want one?
No. She wants a Bronco.
I'll sell her mine.
It's not on the budget. It's right now we're just trying to get our own car back. The Lesbaru.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, let's listen.
At universities, Antifa has organized riotous mobs to attack campus speakers. I see it all the time. And these are agitators, anarchists, and they're paid. And you'll find that out. You'll be finding it out very soon. You should see what we have on these people. These are bad people. These are people that want to destroy our country. We're not going to let it happen. At university,
they're getting paid. We're going to find out very soon. Very soon. And then I want to play this clip quick too, because this is something I've been personally looking for, and he kind of hinted at it now. It's pretty exciting stuff. Take a listen to this.
Are you going to work with your administration as the Secretary of State's here? Are you going to work with your administration to designate it a foreign terror organization?
you mean a terror? Antifa? Well, has that been done? Pretty close, right? Would you like to see it done?
Yes, Mr. President.
Do you think it would help?
They have foreign links
I'd be glad
all
to
across
do it. I
Western
think it's
Europe.
the kind of thing I'd like to do. If you'd like, does
Middle
everybody
East.
agree? If you agree, I agree. Let's get it done. Okay.
I mean, that's hilarious because it's not like it's like I have to go back. I have to go back and look at whether or not there's an international aspect to this. It's just like, what do you think? Do you think that sounds cool? Okay, well, yeah. These people think it sounds cool. Jack Posobiec says it's cool. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's why I said there's some gay aspects to this, but I use that lightly. I mean, the round table thing, I think what we just saw in that little clip is the very public and obvious, like, preschool version of the feedback loop that we often talk about, and I know you and Chris talk about this a lot on Saturdays. We've been talking about it from the context of Trump and the American people, Trump and the truth community, right? There's different layers of how he's doing that. That is like... oh, do you guys think I should do this thing that very obviously I've already decided I'm going to do and has been seeded for years and years? Sure, okay, I'll do it. You know, that's like the layers of the info war. If you believe that that's why the decision was made or when it was made, that's okay. There's levels to this stuff. It's the same difference. But this whole Antifa thing is pretty fantastic. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I'll just pull up a graphic I had put together at the time. I put this together after the Charlie Kirk assassination, but these posts are from before that. Remember this Donald Trump truth post from August 27th. It's all about George Soros, his radical left son. He mentions Rico here. Be careful, we're watching you. And I had put together a couple headlines here. Trump targets NGOs. This was in July. Trump links Soros to protest funding, vows Rico. Bill Gates had cut ties with Arabella Advisors, which is one of the George Soros firms. So all of this was happening in July and August. Obviously, it goes further back beyond that as well. But then when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, of course, there was a lot of talk about Antifa. Donald Trump then at least used that narrative to accelerate the designation of Antifa that, as you surfaced on that show, he had first talked about publicly in May of 2020. So, of course, these things have been planned for a long, long time. The new development, if there is a new development here or a new disclosure, I think that's how we should look at all of this. These are the disclosure of things that have been in motion for a long time. It was the Scott Bessent aspect here. So I have a little clip that came out, I believe, yesterday.
Before we even get to that, I do want to address the international aspect of this because the way he so nonchalantly was like, yeah, let's just do it. I've been looking forward to the international aspect because when he first came out with the initial executive order, you guys probably remember, I like hammered it. I was like, this is nothing. This doesn't do anything. He later came out with the NSPM-7, which was more interesting and did make it more like one of those other executive orders we've always talked about. And it made it much more like closely related to how they would go after an international, group of terror, whatever. But I want you guys to remember what Trump said about Antifa when he was talking to the military. He was in front of those guys, and he said
last week.
Was that last week? Feels like an eternity ago. But yeah, whenever that was, last week, this is what he said. And I'm just gonna play the first half of this.
We're under invasion from within. No different than a foreign enemy, but more difficult in many ways because they don't wear uniforms.
So he was talking about Antifa there, and he says we're under an invasion, no different than a foreign enemy. And then now today he's like, oh yeah, they are foreign. Like, we have no problem labeling them a foreign group. So we're literally under invasion from a foreign enemy. And I just think that's a pretty big step, because one of the things we're seeing being challenged from Trump is his wartime authorities. He recently just declared, I think it was the end of last week or maybe earlier this week, I don't remember. He declared Tren de Aragua, like, yeah, we're bombing them, and they're a formal non-state actor, and we're just letting you know, Congress, like, we're using our wartime authorities here to go after these people. And there's going to be a legal challenge to him doing that, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Yeah, I think he's probably very much looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very enlightening on not necessarily what's going on now, but even more so about things that took place back in 2020. But it's stuff like this with the Antifa. Somebody's going to challenge him, probably calling them a foreign terrorist organization too. But anyway, we can go into the best and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot here. I mean, just for starters, I saw this, shout out to X22, I saw him post this clip yesterday. This was a short one with Caroline Levitt about Bessent.
The financial backing of these groups, particularly Antifa, is certainly something the administration is looking into aggressively. And the federal government has never really been mobilized or tasked with doing that. So we're kind of kickstarting that into gear. The FBI is working on it alongside the White House's Homeland Security Task Force. We have our intelligence community looking into this as well. And even the Secretary of Treasury is involved with these matters, since they are financial in nature. And we will continue to get to the bottom of who is funding these organizations in this organized anarchy against our country and our government. It's a question the American people have been begging the answer for many years, and we're committed to uncovering it.
So there's some obvious stuff there, but for me, full disclosure, my favorite character currently in the Patriot sphere is Scott Bessent.
No surprise from a Les Brew driver.
That's true. Yeah, we got to stick together, you know. But us people. But he's been kind of my favorite throughout the year. We've talked about him a lot on the Power Hour in terms of like a somewhat understated, unassuming personality, boring to the truth community backstory, like on the surface level, but low key even before this deployment. If Scott Bessent sits down to do an interview, you are going to get spoilers as to everything that is going to happen on an economic front, like for the next 6 months. So I've loved listening to his interviews, and I've been working on a piece for the last week or so, all really digging into his background in connection to George Soros. The reason I was looking into that was before this stuff. It was because Donald Trump brought up George Soros, people who read the drops and everything, and Donald Trump's brought up Soros in the past. Soros is one of those characters. Like, he is the, I would say, cipher that is being used to educate people as to the nature of this foreign billionaire financier NGO class, right? Bill Gates might be the American version of that. George Soros is the foreign version when you bring up foreign. So for anybody who doesn't know this, I think a lot of people do, Scott Bessent made his name very infamous in the financial world while working for Soros Fund Management. I believe it was called Quantum Financial Group or Quantum Funding Group, whatever it was. Yep. Something Quantum. This was in the 90s. Long story short, what Bessent basically did was he arbitraged the British pound. Yeah. So he played... He was like the first guy to play the currency against the people issuing the currency. And now George Soros actually is the one who, he was already a billionaire, but George Soros became very famous on the back of this. That's why if you guys look into like old articles about George Soros and why he became this financial legend, they call him the man who broke the Bank of England or the man who broke the pound.
That's on.
Yeah, the real guy who broke the pound was Scott Bessent. He got like a 15% arbitrage opportunity on an entire national currency. The numbers I saw varied, but essentially in like 1992 dollars, George Soros profited something like at least over $1 billion, which, you know, today would be what? Probably 5 billion, 3 billion, whatever it is, on this trade. So he became very famous. And if you look into headlines when Scott Bessent was being teased as a Trump appointee, the media thought it was weird because they were like, is Donald Trump really going to pick a George Soros guy? And one of the reasons I've been so intrigued to follow George Soros this whole time is, Scott Bessent, is I think Scott Bessent is a good guy. He strikes me as very genuine, could always be wrong about these things. And I think I think that when Scott Bessent's name comes out in press conferences like the one Caroline Leavitt held, I think that is the name that has people like George Soros shitting themselves. Not because Scott Bessent is more powerful than Donald Trump or the FBI, but because Scott Bessent knows everything about the Soros empire. He knows where the bodies are buried. He helped bury the bodies from a financial perspective. He came up with the plans that made George Soros a lot of his money. And this goes in many different directions, but on the mapping front, there's one. And then there's a whole other thing that we've kind of been talking about for weeks or for months, which is that little arbitrage trade that Scott Bessent engineered against the British pound, in my opinion, he is doing that against the US dollar right now and with the permission of Donald Trump. So They called him the hatchet man in financial markets, and I think that is the name at this roundtable and in that Leavitt presser yesterday that the NGOs are shitting themselves about, because, as we've said a million times, it's usually not the violence or the big crimes that get these people in RICO. It's the bagmen and it's the finances that tie them together.
Yeah, I think my favorite part about that is you said, to make a long story short. And that's like just
the intro.
A quarter of the way through. Yeah, I mean, the Scott
John
Bessent
said he wasn't reading stuff today, so I charged up.
Yeah, no, that's good. I appreciate it. I just may fall asleep for real as on one of these rants. Scott Bessent is certainly interesting. I mean, we used to talk a lot about his Bessent connection, or Bessent's connection to Soros back when he first started. And, you know, reading into his background, like, they were close friends for a while. And then supposedly, according to Bessent, back around 2016, that's when he kind of got disillusioned with him and what he was doing in politics. Now, Antifa...
I saw 2015, but yeah, there's the argument is around that era.
Whatever. Closely. The Antifa, like the modern Antifa that we see, they really came up after that fact. So I would be curious to see, you know, if that stuff was in the works beforehand, or how quickly Bessent is able to track down some of this money. And whether or not Bessent is even the guy who's actually digging into it, I highly doubt that's going to be the case. The thing is they already know, probably. Like today I saw a story. So I guess I did see a story today when I was doing a little show prep. I had a very short show this morning. But I saw, it was Ken Paxton, the attorney general in Texas. He's like, yeah, we're going to go undercover with Antifa. And I was like, well, if you're going undercover, the stupidest thing you can do is tell the organization you go undercover with that you're going to do it. So that's stupid. This is just a publicity stunt. But then it just got me thinking, like, obviously, they have already gone undercover in Antifa. They've already mapped this stuff out. You go back to my Devolution Part 6. It's all about Antifa. It's about J6. And it's about the Summer of Love and how on, like, I think it was June 1st, Trump does his Bible walk. And then all you see in the immediate aftermath of that is a timeline of the military and their drones getting involved in monitoring these protests. They start arresting people. You have AG Bill Barr coming out saying, like, yeah, we have found a foreign element to this stuff. They've known. They've had this stuff, in my opinion, for a long time. And it's just been, when is the most opportune moment to actually roll this stuff out? I don't think Antifa and what they've been doing, like, these last couple weeks has been any different than what they've been doing up in Portland for the last 6 years. Like, it's
probably more tame right now, a lot more tame.
Especially over, you know, the Summer of Love. It probably is more tame. Yet they found the perfect opportunity to go and strike this match, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Absolutely. That's why, you know, like, there's the that article I had written a few weeks ago on this stuff was called Maps and Mandates. And one of the most famous, I would say probably one of the most often cited quotes in the Q drops was, mapping began long ago. As you said, when with a lot of the research you had done specifically into people like Ezra Cohen Watnick and that whole crew, a lot of it was about that, right? A lot of it was about those domestic terror networks, as you said. And yeah, I see this as this is the whole theme of disclosure masquerading as discovery. Jordan Sather and I on the narrative last week focused on that whole trend of a lot of 2025. You could look at most of the narrative deployments as really accelerated reruns of stuff that this audience has been digging into for the last almost 10 years. But and I agree with you that no, I don't think Scott Bessent is being brought in right now to like put the final puzzle pieces together. Hey, you used to work for that guy, George, right? I'm starting to get a little suspicious of that Hungarian slug over there. Maybe you should, don't you know him, Scotty? Like, no. But do I think that conversation happened a decade ago? Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, how did Scott Bessent get into the orbit of Donald Trump? We're probably never going to fully know this, even based on what they say, right? Because they're translating however this op from a Patriot angle has been running in a certain way that they need to translate it. But I would guess that either Scott Bessent went to people who he thought could do something about this, or maybe more likely, the people, aka the Patriots, went to figures like Scott Bessent, and I'm sure many others. You know, if you want to be reductive about it in this community, you might call him like a gray hat, right? Hey, he worked for Soros. He made Soros a lot of money. Scott Bessent's actually maybe one of the best examples of why you can't get too attached to the black hat, white hat games. Because, you know, this guy he's kind of a rags to riches story if you look into his background. And yeah, he made a billionaire Hungarian financier a hell of a lot of money by exploiting an economic loophole. Don't feel too bad about what he was exploiting because, you know, the banks were the ones carrying the bag for it. So Scott Bessent's kind of a demolitions expert against currencies and against banks, which is sort of the theme of what I've been writing about. But if you then later on find out some of these other things about your former employer, and you are a good man, and you are given this avenue, not just to making something different of yourself, but to kind of going back on that stuff and making it right, I think there are definitely people who have taken that path. It doesn't all have to be strings cut in terms of we've got leverage over all these guys. Some of them really figured some shit out and are like, hey, I used to work with that guy. I can help you. Yeah. And personally, I think that Bessent, most of the stuff you look into in his background, there's really nothing else shady. All of his moves are in public. All his moves are on the record, and he's been very open about it.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. I don't think you said anything there that I would disagree with, especially like the former employee thing, like that, those kind of connections. He probably is lifelong friends with some of the people still in a lot of those organizations.
Yeah.
And who knows, like those are the people that I would be even more so interested in, who are currently there and have been there since Antifa like really started getting rolled up in 2016, 2017. But this reminded me, I went to go look for my part 6 and show you guys that. And if you guys have noticed, if you go to devolution.link right now, it just comes up to this blank site.
Have you figured that out?
Well, yeah, so I'm gonna explain it.
Okay.
Back on, okay, so the credit card I had on file there, or debit card or whatever, had expired, and I forgot to change it out. So I got the email like, hey, your website expired, you need to update your payment. So I went in and I issued the payment, and then I, said, hey, Cheryl, it's good to go. Like, and this was like a day later or something, a day or two. And so she goes out there and she's trying to like get the website domain connected to the whatever thing they have in the backing. So like the website was there and built, it just wasn't on the devolution.link. And it wouldn't work. So we contacted, and I have the email here, we contacted GoDaddy back on 9/27, so September 27th, like, hey, we can't get this working. What is going on? They escalated the case. It just sent us an update that they're still investigating the issue. At this time, this renewal issue is actively being investigated with the registry, and we follow up once we have a resolution, blah, blah, blah. So they're still working on it. This was this morning. But what we did is we ended up going and bought devolution.us, and it's the same exact website. So you can go to devolution.us. As soon as devolution.link is back and available, we'll have just both these active, I guess. But yeah, so for those who've been asking, it's devolution.us, and then later it'll again be devolution.link. But part 6. So I just wanted to show you guys a reminder.
Zoom in. Is this an article for ants?
Maybe.
Thanks.
I love that joke. Trump, June 1st, makes a surprise visit to St. John's Church. Hours after, the FBI spy plane started surveilling Washington, D.C. June 3rd and 4th, National Guard uses RC-26 to surveil the protests. Again, this is military being used domestically, which I think is fascinating in and of itself. And then AG Barr announces the DOJ has evidence of Antifa involvement. June 19th, they use helicopters, airplanes, and drones in more than 15 cities to surveil the protests. Trump issues executive order on combating criminal violence. Barr releases implementation memo for creation of a DOJ task force on violent anti-government extremists, in which he points out there may be fortified by foreign entities. And as far as I'm aware, they haven't given us any public acknowledgement of what happened with that task force. And it's possible to similar to an Anna Paulina Luna task force, and it's just totally made up and nothing actually happened. Or it's possible that maybe they did come and map out Antifa, and we just hadn't heard about it.
And now we're getting the results of these investigations.
Yep. And then one more thing I want to point out, and this is from my part 8, is this Oval Office meeting. Dan Scavino on December 15th posted it, says historical moment in the Oval, will share when I can, or whatever. I don't remember the rest of the quote. But then if you look down, the first time he actually posted this picture, same people, different angle, is from June 1st, the same date as the Bible walk, and the first time that we have military and spy planes being used domestically to monitor these protests. So I still think there's something here, something with this. Devolution.us now.
Yeah, I mean, the mapping stuff. You know, we don't have to believe, but I do believe that the investigations to put together what is going to be the largest RICO case ever brought have been done a long time, or at least have been, maybe done is the wrong word that we sometimes use. They've been in progress for a long, long time. Yeah. So, you know, when you're seeing, it doesn't make any sense from even a normie perspective and nobody who's engaged with this stuff. It doesn't make sense when they're like, yeah, I think we're going to loop in the Treasury Secretary on this, or we're going to see what we can figure out. And then like Wednesday, they're going to be like, this is what we found out, guys. Yeah, exactly. That's not how, insurance with a fender bender doesn't work that fast. So I don't think the largest RICO investigation of all time is going to work that fast. Those are similar cases. There's some similarities there.
I would equate Soros, secretly funding Antifa to insurance claims. I would agree.
Yep. Thanks. Yep. I'm glad you agree. I think it's worth reading some of this glorious CNN article I was reading before the show on this topic, because it is scrumtrulescent. If I do say so myself.
It's a fun word.
It is.
Can you spell it?
Nope, absolutely not. So CNN's tone of this, what I loved about this, it's the typical CNN cope, but they really dial it up in this one. So it's just got reverse indicator galore. If you contrast this recap of the roundtable today on Antifa with like any other outlet, it's pretty funny. But I think there's some juicy morsels in here. So Donald Trump and top officials vow to use the full weight of the federal government to bring down Antifa. Listen to how CNN describes Antifa, which I think is telling. They said they'd go after Antifa's finances, designated international terrorist organization. This is CNN, but Antifa is more of an ideology than an organized national group. The rhetoric from the president and his top lieutenants on Wednesday is likely to stoke ongoing concerns about a broad crackdown on civil liberties. So
they care about civil liberties now, man.
Civil liberties must be defended, and Antifa's more of an idea than an actual thing. So of course it's simple reverse indicator stuff, but it's pretty funny. The term Antifa, short for anti-fascist, is used to define a broad group of people whose political beliefs lean toward the left, often the far left, but do not conform with the Democratic Party platform. Unlike militant far-right groups like the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, which people at Badlands Media might believe are not necessarily right-wing groups, but
I still don't know if I can get on board with that.
Maybe not. I'm just saying, for the sake of argument, it is possible that all of these groups are funded by the very same people. That's where I lean, personally.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that they're like good dudes.
No, I meant the opposite.
Oh, okay. Well, then I think I agree with that.
I mean, like, it's interesting that they're always the groups that the media assigns to us. And, you know, you
they're
could
the false
argue
fags.
Yeah, the
they
false.
Probably all drive.
Man, has
Subarus.
anybody ever said that?
The false fags.
False fags.
Yeah,
That's great.
I was definitely the first one. Trademark.
Trademark.
You can't use it for a
double trademark.
You can't double trademark a single trademark.
I don't know, man. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. What do we get? It would be a violation of the First Amendment to prosecute all those who subscribe to anti-fascist ideology, while it's illegal to provide material support to groups designated by the government as foreign terrorist organizations. There is not an analogous law for domestic groups.
That's what NSPM 7 is for. CNN. Also, Ash in the chat says she knows some Proud Boys that are good dudes, not the famous ones, though.
Well, okay, I'm not even going to argue. My thoughts on Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, etc., is that the reason those, in my opinion, controlled oppo-dynamic groups are so effective is because many of the people in them are good guys who get looped into those movements. Ask somebody if they are like... Good things usually don't happen when you go and join those groups to you. So, yeah, I can agree with that while also saying you probably got opt if you joined those groups. But here's a quote that I loved that I did not see going viral that much. This is from Donald Trump, and it's related to what we just talked about with Scott Bessent. He says, members of the group, quote, have been very threatening to people, but we're going to be very threatening to them, far more threatening to them than they ever were with us. That includes the people that fund them, probably some of the people I know, some of the people I dine with. But if they do, they're in deep trouble. So we're going to look very strongly at the people that are funding these operations. And I know there's pieces of that quote, and Trump said different versions of it. We're going to look at these people who funded them. But the fact that he sets that up by saying, it's a lot of the people I have dinner with. And man, that's not only, I think, a confirm of the general framework we're talking about with a guy like Scott Bessent and how long have these operations been going on, the investigation's been going on. In my opinion, it's one of those Trump little nods to, I've been at tables with these people for a long time, learning who they are and learning what they're doing. And, you know, I said recently, there's a 1987 David Letterman sit down with Donald Trump that Trump boosted a couple of weeks ago that I've watched like 10 times in the last week. And even in that, even in that, he's referring to NATO and our so-called allies and just stuff like this. Like, he's been talking about this stuff for a long time, which is, it's cool to see him drop these little nuggets in there.
Yeah, it makes me think of the tech bros, because I've taken issue with the people that have been coming to suckle at the teat of the Trump administration, who for the past like 8 years have been douchebags about everything and free speech and all that stuff. Like Bill Gates was just at the White House dining with Trump, wasn't he? So it makes me think of people like that. And that's notable because you showed that picture earlier of Bill Gates, who had pulled his funding out of Arabella Advisors or whatever.
Who then met with Trump right after.
That's what I'm saying. He just had dinner with him, fresh on Trump's mind. So yeah, I'm curious. I kind of want to look at a list of people who've had dinner with Trump recently.
But I bet I wasn't thinking about the tech contingent. I mean, that probably is what he's talking about in this context. But I also think that template, you know, and many people in the truth community have theorized this for a long time, even going to like Batman theories and all that. But how long has Trump been doing that? How long has he been sitting at these tables? You know, Chris Paul and I did The Apprentice, the 2024 movie starring Sebastian Stan on Story Hour a few months ago. And it's a hit piece on Trump. But what's interesting about it is, you know, like the best hit piece is there's a lot of true facts in the movie. And then it makes these big swerves to character assassinate Trump. But one of the things it really focuses on in the first hour is who Trump was in rooms with as he was coming up in New York. Roy Cohn, all these mobsters. And it's like, we were both talking about how, you know, on some level, when the machine is making propaganda to this level now, they're starting to almost rebrand Trump from being a loose cannon maniac to being a long-time subversive thorn in their side that's been wheeling and dealing since the 80s. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's possible that Trump was just a really connected guy who kept himself clean, and that's why he was approached by the generals that he now, as we've played a million times in the show, publicly admits he was approached by. It's also possible that he has been part of the operation the entire time, and that's kind of where I would lean.
Yeah, sorry, I just got a really exciting text message from Cheryl, back-end team. We've just purchased falsefags.com. So suck that, Bernie Bright. I trademarked it and got the website now.
Damn it. Even a triple trademark won't erase that.
I'll show you guys here in a second.
Did we actually get falsefags.com?
Yes, I just got it. No
this is
joke.
Why they can never defeat us.
I can get this thing to... I just got to figure out my password on...
Maybe that's where you should back up with a little project you're working on.
Ooh. That's an interesting idea. You could start putting...
Eventually. That's where the history...
I like that idea. People have no idea what we're talking about, but they will soon. Very soon.
The only way forward. Transparency is the only way forward.
That's what I keep hearing, so we'll give it to them. Okay, let me find... how do I check the domains that I own? Here we go.
Falsefags.com. I like it.
There we go. Right down there at the bottom. Falsefags.com. Thank you, Cheryl. That's awesome. Anyway, I don't remember what you were talking about before I did that, but I had to go make sure I purchased it because somebody
just
in the chat...
that Trump is Batman, Bruce Wayne, and when he says that quote there, people I dine with, I like what you're bringing up about recent instances of that, but Trump has had a lot of dinner meetings, and a lot of the people in those dinner conversations going back to the 80s, they probably didn't think Donald Trump was going to be their worst enemy 30 years later or 40 years later. So one wonders if he became their enemy or if he was their enemy when he was sitting at those tables.
Yeah, I mean, it is such an interesting concept, especially like when you think of the Hillary Clintons, right? Like, because that's what everybody looks to. Like, he used to go to those parties. He used to fund a lot of these people's campaigns. And I'm just curious, the people I want to see this stuff come back to is the politicians, the tech bros, these huge wealth managers. All that stuff is one thing, but I want this stuff to be connected to both, and not just Democrats. I think it would connect to Republicans as well. I want to see it connect to all of them because it needs to be. It's the only way forward. Like, could you imagine if like a Chuck Schumer or a Jeffries or something gets caught having funded or knowing about or somehow been involved in some of this Antifa stuff? And even the funding is just one part of it. How convenient is it that every time the Democrats need something, some form of protest or whatever, they just so happen to get Antifa right there lined up, ready to go. They had 400 some groups in wait in case Donald Trump won the election. And this is back in 2020. They never got the text, but they were ready to go. Like, how convenient is that?
Yeah. And a couple other quotes from that article that are, again, these are nothing really new in terms of what this audience has been talking about, but seeing it all laid out by Donald Trump and the figures around him in this roundtable as directly as it was laid out, I think is pretty damn signal. You had Kash Patel who said, quote, "We will not rest until we find every single seed money, donor organization, and funding mechanism that we have." He talked about Besant and said, quote, "Besant is allowing us to map out these networks through their financial criminal activities, which has been going on for decades." So even that quote right there, he's saying these criminal networks have been going on for decades, right? So right there, you've got the FBI director immediately undermining the public narrative of, Trump just kind of got sick of those rascally Antifas, those Antifers running around mucking things up. And he decided that he was going to call Scott up and be like, "Scott, what's going on with them Antifers?" Even if you go back to 2020, Kash Patel's quote doesn't make sense. when he's talking about decades, he is talking about the deep state. He's talking about what Donald Trump has long called the deep state and what we have long called the deep state in this audience. And, you know, that signal. And then Pam Bondi said, quote, "Fighting crime is more than just getting the bad guy off the street. It's breaking down the organization brick by brick, just like we did with the cartels. We're going to take the same approach, President Trump, with Antifa, destroy the entire organization from top to bottom. We're going to take them apart." And, you know, these are sound bites, right? But it all lines up with, we got John Solomon out there all year talking about RICO investigations. And now we've got Trump in the summer talking about George Soros. We've got the Kirkening happening on September 10th. We've got Antifa, domestic terrorist organization. And now we've got this all looping back around. Come on. I mean, we all know that this is the unroll of something that's been in the works a long time. And I guess my only question, or maybe, you know, just an idea to discuss, is how much of them publicly talking about this in the way they are right now do you think is the feedback loop, narrative disclosure type of stuff we talk about? And how much of it is operational, meaning that there is a strategy to why they are publicly talking about this kind of stuff? Like, do you think that there's still anything they think they can get out of this on an actual basis, or is it more just the narrative?
I don't know. Like, that's an interesting question. My belief is that they have had this stuff at their disposal, much like they do most things. Like, they can, I think I said it last week on the show. It's like there's a path from point A to point B, and it's like that's the administration. This is where they started, and this is what they want it to look like on the way. And as they go, there are certain tangents that they can take at any time when there's an opportunity to do so, and they can go accomplish some goal that will help them get to, you know, point B. And this Antifa thing, I think, is one of those tangents. They didn't talk about domestic terrorism or Antifa at all for like the first 8 months of Trump's administration. And if they did, it was like vague and subtle and nothing crazy. It was mainly like immigration and tariffs and stuff. But all of a sudden, the Charlie Kirk assassination, and this is their opportunity. And so yeah, I do think this is more of a narrative disclosure. That doesn't mean that there won't be like more benefits to it. Like, there might be more things they uncover. I think they've uncovered enough, though. I have to imagine they would have. They talked about it too much. They did too much back in 2020 for them not to have known like everything they need to know to wrap this organization up and disclose the funding. Maybe they needed to wait for, you know, more info on the Rico Grande case. But when I see people like sit in silence and wait and almost wait for the most opportune moment to disclose something, to me, it's not that they didn't have it before necessarily. It's just more of a, this is the best opportunity. This is when we have the most mandate for it. This is when we can execute the full extent and get the maximum exposure for this opportunity. Because like if they would have done this the first thing they did when they got into office, it wouldn't have really moved the needle any more than it was already being moved. Like, everybody was already cheerleading everything. I don't think it would have changed much. But at this time, with the mandate they have, and everybody like, we need to get rid of this issue. Look at all these trannies. Like, you know, that's all the right is focused on for the past 3 weeks. Now's the time to do it. So hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I agree with how you laid that out. I kind of made me think of a poker game, like a cliche, easy analogy, but you know what hand you have, and you've known what hand you have the whole time. You don't necessarily know what hand the other players have, but the longer the game goes, the more information, if you're a good player, you have to discern what hands they have, right? And there's ways that you can let them know as the game progresses that I basically know what hand you have. And obviously, those players know what hands they have. All of which is to say, I would agree that, you know, the way I see this, it's almost like nothing is going to change the hands that the Patriots have right now from the perspective of the RICO investigation and taking down these criminal networks they're talking about. I think they've got it. They've got their hand. But what I think they might be doing here, aside from the disclosure, is, yeah, you know, like you mentioned, maybe second order effects. Maybe there's still some stuff that could come their way. I think they're basically I was going to say bluffing, but they're doing the opposite of bluffing. They're putting their chips in the center of the table, and they are giving maybe a last opportunity for other players to fold at the table. You know, like, and it's not me sitting here going, George Soros is watching this press conference, and now he found out that they figured out what he's doing. In my opinion, the other players at the table have known. That's why they've been going after Donald Trump for 10 years. They know that Trump and his people around him know what they've been doing, right?
Yeah.
Both sides know each other. But why would they fold at this stage of the game? I think that if patriots are being this brazen about the narrative right now and merging these narratives together that they were seeding in Trump's first administration, and now that they're back in power, it feels much less like a bluff to the deep state and the criminals now. Now it feels like you would only be saying this if you're ready to tell the dealer to flip. So, you know, I'm not saying these people get away with these things, but I think it's more like, hey, you're fucked either way. So maybe there's some other stuff they feel like they can get out of these people and give them the opportunity to fold kind of in front of everybody.
I like the way you said that. I mean, at the end of the day, do people want to see the crimes exposed of the main people, like the people that knew what they were doing, the people that you know, like the George Soros, the big name individuals, the people that can connect it to the politicians and other people around the world? Or do they want to see like the random other Joe Blow who is involved? I don't know. That's an interesting question. I mean, personally, I think I'd like to see justice for everybody, but it doesn't have to be that way. Maybe it is giving people the opportunity to be like, yeah, I'll flip. I'll tell you what's been going on. Maybe some people were innocently wrapped under it. I don't know. I don't know. That's an interesting concept, though. I do want to point out one thing. Ghost of Base Patrick Henry in the chat said, you can't just buy up the internet, John. And I beg to differ. You can't just buy up the internet.com. It's now also owned by Badlands Media. So
I feel like it should be you can just buy up the internet.com.
Well, I mean, I have to do the exact quote. It works.
Geez, you're just shelling it out.
Well, now it's on GoDaddy. So, like, if you guys have any really creative...
$22 a year. Damn.
But that's not till 2030.
That's true.
I got a deal on it.
I like it.
Got a deal on it.
You guys are all going to start getting spam emails every day for the next few years asking if you're interested in a few domains.
Would you? Are you curious if you can buy it?
We have a very valuable domain that we've been sitting on that we think might be just what you're looking for.
But you can't have it. You can't just buy up the internet.
Right.
.com. Anyway, what was the other topics? Oh, you know what? We do have another sponsor. We should probably talk about this. And this could potentially be a segue to some more broader geopolitical things.
World peace.
If any of those things happened recently.
What is the Sovereign Alliance? The Sovereign Alliance are a collection of leaders and countries that are aligned not in the vision for their countries, but against a vision that has been thrust upon them. I believe that the Sovereign Alliance is less a battle for something and more a battle against something. They are against globalism, collectivism. They are against the rules-based international order.
Sovereign Alliance, the latest addition to Badlands Rise merch, available now at badlandsmedia.tv/rise.
Not a Sovereign Alliance. Jimmy's rustling in the info war right now. We got Anna Paluna-Lena is going to disclose it all. I think what she should do is...
Did you intentionally say her name wrong?
Did I?
You said Anna Paluna-Lena, and I love it. I'm just curious.
Paluna-Lena? Yeah. What's her name?
Anna Paluna-Lena?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I said that.
Okay, we need to see if AnnaPaluna-Lena.com is available.
Paluna-Lena. Same thing. Yeah, but she's people probably saw this floating around out there. We got Anna Paluna.
Has she figured out who killed JFK yet?
Bro, everything has its time. She's been working on this 7D chess. I have officially confirmed a meeting with Kirill Dmitriev, special envoy to the president of Russia, for later this month. It's important not just for my fellow Americans, but to the world that we continue to foster the relationship and conversations of peace and trade between Russia and the United States, as President Trump has so openly called for. Our two countries do not need to be enemies, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know if Dmitriev has accepted this, but a lot of you probably know Dmitriev has been posting Q drops. What if China, Russia, and others are coordinating with POTUS to eliminate the NWO? That was obviously the original inspiration behind the Righteous Russia series and the idea behind the Sovereign Alliance.
Never heard.
But yeah, this stuff is, whether this is just shameless narrative grifting or, something else, it's that topic is getting definitely injected into the mainstream info war.
Anna Palunalina right now. AnnaPalunalina.com. I think I can get for $16. First year's only a cent. What a deal. Wow. I'm not going to do it, though. I'm not going to give her the satisfaction.
No. Yeah.
But just in case anybody else out there wants to...
Right. Pump those bags.
Pump those bags. We should probably
it's interesting.
A little bit. That is interesting. I've seen some of that guys post. I'm not going to lie. Are we sure that's actually him?
Well, it is concerning because there's no verification. Not that means anything, but I also don't see a lot written about his comments, like in Russian media. So I think it is him, but I don't see him making a lot of news outside of the Twitter feed until now, until Anna Paulina.
It seems a little grifty of her. It's, not at all in line with her character and what she normally does.
I'm more interested in just let's say it is grifting, just narrative grifting. That you can learn from that, and you can see what is the point of grifting? It's to draft, as Chris would say, or to get ahead of where the psychological market is going, to get ahead of where the macro narrative market is going. We see.
Let's say get ahead of.
Yeah,
it's try to latch onto where it's already at.
The normie layers. I mean, if this stuff is going to start bubbling up into the normie layers of media, the idea of a Trump-Putin alliance, which we were talking about last week in terms of The Guardian. Ash had pointed out The Guardian is writing about the Trump-Putin pincer. This stuff is bubbling up there, so now people like that see an opportunity to say, well, I certainly wasn't the first. People have been talking about this for a decade in the truth community, but she can take the credit for being first in the mainstream eye. So that's probably what's going on here. I'm less interested in why she's doing it, and I'm more interested in the fact that the sort of social incentives are aligning for people, whether they're grifters or not, to start talking about the potential alliance between Trump and Putin. It means that there is a phase shift underway, and that Overton window has definitely rapidly started to accelerate in that direction.
But is that what that means when Anna Palunalina does it? Because so far, every single thing that she has surgically attached herself to has been a rug pull. You had the JFK thing, the Epstein files thing. There was another one. What was the other one?
I don't remember.
Man, I feel like there's even more than just one other one. There's a bunch. She's constantly doing this. She's constantly injecting herself into stuff that either Trump is already doing, or that people online are super up in arms about or excited about or whatever. And then every time it move the needle in any way except for backwards.
But she gets to say, wherever the public narrative ends up going between Trump and Putin, and I certainly think it's going to end up in a public reconciliation that is not a reconciliation, she's going to get to point to these kinds of fame whoring instances and say see, I was calling for that. So I think that's why these things happen. I was
gonna go look at my Twitter feed to find. I've tweeted at her a lot about how many stupid shit, how much stupid shit she's done.
Ash says breastfeeding proxy voting.
That's right. She got on board the no tax on tips thing. Even though that was Trump's idea, just the tips. That was such a missed opportunity for that section of that that bill. Anyway, let's talk.
Actually, Scott Bessent's idea, by the way.
Just the tips.
The the Trump public platform for the financial stuff was all Scott Bessent stuff, from what we were told.
Well, just the tips makes even more sense now.
Yeah.
Let's watch this clip. This is from the roundtable.
Go ahead.
Was the table actually round?
I don't think. I think it was a series of tables, interconnected, like end to end, tip to tip, that formed the shape of maybe a square. I didn't actually watch any of this. This is the first I'm seeing of it all. So
You just reminded me of the perfect outro video that will make half the audience cry laughing and the other half be horrified.
Never watch
I'll
this
just
again.
tease that.
Okay. Well, anyway, take a listen.
Smart, but they're not smart enough. Oh, my microphone's broken. They're smart, but they're not smart enough. They have been covered by these liberal cities for so many years. And that's why we're all working with Treasury, with all these different departments to find the criminal conspiracy.
Okay. I'm just given. Yeah, I was just given a note by the Secretary of State saying that we're very close to a deal in the Middle East, and they're going to need me pretty quickly. So I will take a couple of more questions. Please.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead.
At this next GART, Burning Bright, what I want you to do is I'm going to be on a panel, and like we'll have probably JB talking about how much he loves the feds or something, and then you come up with a note and give it to me, and then whisper softly in my ear, softly disclose something in my ear.
Soft disclosure.
And then I'll make something up, but we need to reenact this in some fashion.
That's how
I've just
quickly
been made
decisions
aware.
are made.
Yeah, I've just been made aware that something happened or whatever. But yeah, this is this, in my opinion, was done on purpose, just based on like how this unfolded. Very much reminds me of the George Bush surge.
Yeah, I was just
hit
thinking of the
second
George
tower.
Bush situation. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that the plane has just hit the World Trade Center.
Yeah, so funny.
And it's like it's even more rapid. The comedic timing is all off, and I think it feels discordant and intentional. Earlier I said like they were accelerated reruns. And that's like Trump is just speed running it, almost being like, yeah, you guys saw it all come together at the roundtable yesterday, right? That's how it all got done. It almost feels like he's having some fun with it and daring. I wouldn't even say mainstream media, because he knows that they're the enemy of the people. I think he's kind of daring some of the people in that room, to be honest, to continue treating all of this extra very seriously. The Con Inc. brigade that takes themselves extremely seriously when they're talking about Antifa and all the rest of it and the Middle East. It feels like he's sitting there going like, you're welcome to believe that we figured this shit out as you guys are sitting here, or you're welcome to believe that we've had this shit figured out a long time ago.
But if they didn't get binders, how will we know the truth of this situation?
The binders up, which we said at the time, but it's become even clearer in hindsight, was such a it was like tagging great whites. Like it just, if you got the binder, or if you were tangential to the binder up, you were tagged and you were just being tracked from then on. And man, I know Ghost has been talking about it till he's blue in the face, but
Talking about what?
Certainly a lot of that going on with funding, and we talked about it last week, Israeli funding of media assets.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard Ghost talk about Israel before.
I know, he avoids
He's
the difficult
been a little
topics.
scared. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually, I'll have to catch up on what he's been talking about. But yeah, no, how many of those Bindergate people are paid for getting money from Israel? Certainly worth discussing. But yeah, I'm shocked. Let me read Trump's True Social post about this. And I'm not shocked that we have a deal. I figured at some point we would be told there was a deal. I'm shocked that I'm honestly shocked that Israel's like on board with it, and I'm just waiting for whatever falsefag.com ends up derailing this, because I do anticipate that's coming. Like there's going to be something that happens to justify Israel continuing to do this. So we'll see if there's any actual hostages exchanged. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. I would love to see actual peace all over the world. I'm a big fan of peace. But anyway, I'm very proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of our peace plan. I am curious, does CNN think that Hamas is more of an ideology, or where do they stand?
It's not an organization. It's more of an idea.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah, probably.
This means that all of the hostages will be released very soon, and Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed-upon line as the first steps toward a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. This is a great day for the Arab and Muslim world, Israel, all surrounding nations, and the United States of America. And we thank the mediators from Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey who worked with us to make the historic and unprecedented event happen. Blessed are the peacemakers. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America.
It's I mean, he's posted the same refrain before, blessed are the peacemakers, biblical, of course, which is great anytime I see him post it. What you introed with, though, this is the narrative game theory of Trump, and I think it's becoming, increasingly clear. It certainly hasn't for a long time to this audience. But, I do actually start to see some of the alternative media types talking in these terms. I had a couple of readers actually send me links to a Zero Hedge article from a few days ago where they were like, oh, you guys have been talking about this for a long time. The guy made sure to give himself a million caveats because, as Chris might say, he's a very serious intellectual. I forget his name. But the author was like, what if we consider that Trump is actually playing 5D chess, just for the sake of a hypothetical? And he did this whole article. I think that one was not about Gaza and Israel, but it was about Ukraine and Russia, which we have talked about. But all of which is to say, your point about false flag situation, Israeli escalation, let's just put it that way. We've laid out that template with Ukraine and Russia. And last week we talked about, or at least I certainly forwarded the theory that Donald Trump didn't endorse the Ukrainian offensive against Russia. He put Ukraine and NATO out on an island and separated the United States from the entire theater. And I feel like that's what's going on right here, probably in an even more direct fashion, because of course he's not on Truth Social saying we came to some sort of phase 1 agreement with Russia. This is even more. So now, as we talked about back in June, July, as he did with Iran and Israel and that whole situation, Trump puts out the narrative. Israel doesn't put out the narrative. NATO didn't put out that narrative last week. Trump put out that narrative. And what happens is, speaking of poker, Trump has just called, and now we see what Israel does. And I think that's what he did with Iran several months ago. I think we all pretty much are in agreement on that. Israel now has a choice to make. Do they basically capitulate to Trump's version of the story?
Something they don't want. Something Bibi doesn't want.
Yeah, something that they don't want. Do they capitulate that is the current reality? Or do they start either saying that they disagree with it, which they're not going to do that. Do they escalate kinetically? Do they escalate with a false flag? And I think that's exactly what he did with NATO last week. And, we pointed out on the show, Emmanuel Macron the next day tried to back as far away from that shit as possible. But NATO is a different situation because in NATO, you've got many different actors. Some of them are bitching out. France is bitching out while Germany is escalating. Israel and Gaza situation is very different. You've got one faction here in Israel that it feels like is being isolated in this narrative. Hamas as well, but you listen to any of Ghost shows and your mileage may vary on who you think Hamas is. So
he had a good interview today, by the way. With that.
Yeah, I heard that was great. I haven't checked it out, but
I've heard
check out Breaking History, guys.
Also, shout out to Donzo11 from my Badlanders Fantasy Football League, who updated his team name to Just the Tip. I'm assuming he's watching right now.
Nice. I beat Brad, by the way.
I lost to
by like 2 points.
Ty in one league, and I lost to Chris Paul in the other. So I'm not feeling very good about myself right now. I do want to show you this though. This was the
equal record to the team that you so brazenly besmirched.
What'd you say?
You and I have the same record in fantasy football, and you brazenly besmirched my selections.
And I still will. It's a long season. I had like 8 of my guys out. All my entire starting lineup was on a bye week.
See, I don't make any excuses for fantasy football. I just accept the chips as they fall.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. This is the letter that Rubio gave him. It says at the very top, very close. We need you to approve a True Social post. That's like the first thing they say. Soon, so you can announce deal first. The letter he gave him was because they need him to approve a True Social post.
That's it, for sure. That's exactly how it happened, boys.
It's pretty funny. Pretty funny. And you had
Trump's
to clarify.
Like, do we have any sponsors for that post?
You had to clarify with him. He's like, come on back over here. Come back over here. Make sure they sign it with President of the United States and not thank you for your attention to this matter. I don't want to thank anybody for their attention to this one. No,
I do love thinking about all of Trump's truths about, Adam Schiff, and I imagine like whoever's typing them up is like pencil neck, and then they go to Trump for approval, and he's like, I wouldn't say that. I'm calling him Shifty today. Call him Shifty Schiff. And then another day they're like, well, sorry, sir, we thought you wanted to call him pencil neck. You've been calling him that for years. It's like, not today.
I would love to see a log of which ones he wrote himself and which ones like somebody else wrote and he just like approved or made changes to. Like, I want to know which ones he specifically typed everything out, hit the send button from the toilet or something. I want to know.
The all caps ones, I think, is Trump.
I think so. I doubt it.
I think like all caps are that's the Q plus. That's the Trump when he's like, make sure you say this.
Well, like this one here, he has just the random capitalized words all over the place. Historic, unprecedented, event. Like just the capitalization.
In fairness, I do that in my writing, but it's a weird thing to do.
It is weird. And so, but like, so is it the person writing it? I mean, he had to approve this. So was it pre-written or was it written today once the peace deal was ready to go? Like how much of this is organized and like planned out, ready to go?
Probably some time ago.
I don't like that answer. I want a better answer.
I would guess.
I want more specific.
I mean, maybe not the exact wording, but the deployment certainly, I feel like is planned. And this is a trap being set. I don't even think you have to be into 5D chess to understand that. Even a lot of the normie layers, including the evil, baddie mainstream media, they understand that Trump is deploying narratives, and he's doing so in an attempt to project power. So this is also what's going on here, right? Like we have deeper readings of it, but you don't actually even have to know that this statement is itself a deployment.
No.
Now we just wait and see who opposes it. This is all connected as well to a couple of weeks ago when he was talking about these negotiations. He talked about the Board of Peace. I think this was last week. And
he was going to be the president of it or whatever.
Yeah, and again, these are things where, and Ghost has been talking about this forever, like to me, the framework of the peace deal that now we are being told we're officially in phase 1 of, to me, it looks an awful lot like the two-state solution. And as you said, it's all the stuff that only one faction that we know of on the game board has been vehemently opposed to.
Yeah.
So what do? If you are Bibi Netanyahu and you do not want this, it's kind of interesting to try to game out, just like we talked about with some of these networks in the previous segment. What do you do when you respond to a narrative like this? Do you respond to it?
Well, it is interesting because, especially ever since the Charlie Kirk stuff and some of the stuff that's come out, and whether you believe it or not, I mean, I don't really care. I don't even know if I believe it, but supposedly we have the text messages that have been verified by the new Charlie Kirk, that Andrew Colvett guy, and like there's some interesting narratives being pushed that are it's more anti-Israel than I think it's been in a long time. Like the sentiment towards them is not in a good place right now. And I know people don't like hearing that. Some people do. I mean, I don't care. When Hamas comes to the table and is like, yes, we'll agree to this, Israel has no choice but to accept it. Even if they don't want it, it doesn't matter. Like, they had no choice but to accept it. And so now it's all about how they get out of it if we believe Bibi Netanyahu is who he has said he was going back 30 years. Like, there's old clips of him like talking about, and recent clips of him talking about not wanting the two-state solution. And so if that's who he is, if he's not being controlled in some way, something's going to happen to try to get out of this deal. Now, if it does, I think that is, I mean, Trump has every reason or every opportunity now to, like, okay, well, you've had literally every chance in the world to not be the person that we think you are right now, right? Like, he's at every opportunity to not do this thing. And if he shows that they're the ones that are continually pushing for war, if it comes out, I don't know how he comes back from that. And again, I'm not talking about all of Israel. There's a good twin and an evil twin in every single country.
Yes.
I feel like I have to put this disclaimer on this topic specifically every time we talk about it. But we think the same way about every single country. Good twin, evil twin. The evil twin faction has been in control of Israel, like they've been in control of almost every country across the globe for a long ass time. And I don't know, like this, they're in a pickle right now. And I feel like they're either prime for falling in line and not really ever being able to get back out of it, or fully exposing themselves. Yeah. So I'm just curious to see which side of the coin lands heads up.
Yeah, it feels like if the Iran deployment, if our reading on the Iran deployment, meaning not just the actual, but more importantly, the stories Trump was telling about it, like, hey, we've eradicated the ability of Iran to have a nuclear weapon. What was that doing? It was narrative disarmament. It was literally narrative denuclearization. He was saying the predicate for kinetic action against Iran has been eliminated. So the argument in the aftermath of that for days or weeks was about whether or not that narrative was true. And the people arguing against it was the US mainstream media and Israel. This one, I would agree that they're in a pickle. I don't think they're going to publicly oppose this narrative.
No, they can't.
But it's all about, does something happen actually that they believe gives them an out? And yeah, the more they do this, and when you mentioned sort of the polling and that kind of stuff about, they've been boosting this stuff recently, that especially, this is one of the ironies, especially in young America and young left-wing America, Israel is not in good standing. That's why I was warning a year ago, you know, the protests on college campuses that a lot of MAGA was dunking on a year ago that were anti-Israeli protests, people like Ghost were saying, and I was saying as well, be careful dunking on these people, because this is putting the media in a bit of a bind. Their own audience and the people that they programmed are probably pushing the storyline that Trump wants them to be pushing. It's been totally inverted. So going forward, we get to see that, you know, a lot of these statistics as well. I saw CNN talking about a few days ago, according to their data, right-wing youth is at its lowest approval rating for Israel in the time that they've been recording it. So the battle space, this is like, we often are guessing and theorizing, where's the mental battle space at? Where's the Overton window at? We don't know exactly where it's at, but we do know that it has shifted. So every time Trump kind of forwards this mandate for peace, the goalposts have been moved one step further toward that end goal. And every time the other side, the warmongers, go against it, they're basically just accelerating the whiplash in that direction.
Yeah, I think back to, I think it was in September, where Trump was asked about Israel in the situation and talking about him. And he's like, you know, they're kind of losing their grip of Congress a little bit. But then he went on to really criticize, or not, maybe not criticize, but he was acknowledging that, you know, in the world of public relations, they're kind of hurting. And I'm trying to find the exact quote here. Yeah, Trump insisted he had been a strong supporter of Israel during his presidency, citing the strike against Iran. I'll pull this up on the screen. And his recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. But he acknowledged Israel was losing the world of public relations, saying the carnage in Gaza was hurting its international standing. You have people that deny it ever happened, Trump said of the October 7 surprise blitz, adding, they may be winning the war, but they're not winning the world of public relations, and it's hurting them. And like, again, that was a month ago. I don't know. I'm curious to see how this actually gets resolved. Ghost, I saw in the chat, said that Trump is actually going there to speak at the Knesset, which will be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, one of the other interesting little quotes, Trump has said this in several different ways, but I think he was, man, who did he just have in the Oval Office from the
Turkey?
EU? Or was it Carney? Or maybe it was it
Canada.
Erdogan?
He had Erdogan.
Was Carney just there?
Carney was just there, like this week.
Yes,
Erdogan was Friday maybe, or Monday? I don't know.
It was Carney that I was thinking of, but when he was with Carney, somebody asked him about because I think he had outlined, we're working on the peace deal, here's my 20-point plan. When he was in front of Carney, he said, yeah, every country agrees with it. And he looked at Carney, and Carney's kind of nodding, and he's like, right, yeah, every country agrees with it, so it's a good deal, and we'll see if they take it. And Ghost says this as well, but it's who's he talking to there? Who's he talking about there? And when he says every country agrees to it, I think the quotes you just pulled up, where he's saying they're losing the narrative world, they're losing the narrative war there. When he kind of lays his balls on the table with Mark Carney in front of the globalist media and says everybody in the world agrees with this, every country agrees with this, he's not stating a fact, in my opinion. He is bluffing, and he is saying, I dare you, Carney, to sit here and oppose the peace plan that I just put forward. And he did the same. He did the same bluff charge against the EU and NATO, and they blinked. So Israel's lost all of those narrative support vectors, and so they're really the ones narratively that have been isolated, and that's what Trump is pointing out.
Yeah, I think this is the clip you're talking about.
We're in very serious negotiations to, I guess you could say, depending on the way you count, 3,000 years. You could say 500 years. You could say, but that it's been raging for a long time. And I think there's a possibility that we could have peace in the Middle East. It's something even beyond the Gaza situation. We want a release of the hostages immediately, etc. And so our team is over there now. Another team just left, and other countries, literally every country in the world has supported the plan.
Yep.
I don't think there's anybody that hasn't, actually, not that I've seen.
Every country in the world supports the plan.
And yeah, I do like the multiple readings of that word right there. What's he talking about? Is he talking about only the 20-point peace plan in Gaza, or is he talking about something a little bigger? Even when he references the ancient... I had written back in 2023, after the October 7th debacle, that the Impossible Task article, which Elon Musk later plagiarized by referring to it as a Kobayashi Maru.
How dare he?
Yeah, he said he used the exact terminology in the exact context.
Did you buy a website domain?
I didn't. That was my mistake.
That's why you got to buy the website domain.
That was my mistake.
It's basically trademarked and nobody can reuse it.
But I mentioned the Israel-Gaza situation. The Middle East is the impossible task. It's the ultimate keystone. It's been the chaos countries. The way I've characterized is that they're the land's peace forgot. Everybody's kind of grown up for a century, really, worldwide, just kind of being like, yeah, the Western Hemisphere, the Eastern Hemisphere, the Global South, there's different decades and generations where they're a little destabilized, then they're stable, there's world wars, etc. The Middle East has been destabilized for a long, long time. And I think that's why it's the perfect template through which to kind of forward the final peacemaker's plan as the ultimate symbol of saying, like, if we can do it here, then we can do it anywhere. So yeah, but I think when he does that stuff in front of Carney, Carney's not the only guy he's done that in front of. He's done that in front of all of them, right? Like a submission parade. But he's essentially saying, here's the official narrative, Carney, you little bitch. Are you going to go up there and publicly oppose it? Because I don't think your other boys are going to oppose it publicly. And that's how you isolate these people.
I agree. I will say I'm more surprised that the Israel situation, we're being told, is being resolved prior to the Russia-Ukraine story. We haven't really had much news or movement on that front with the Russia-Ukraine war in a while, really since, I mean, have they even discussed it since Trump has been to the EU? Spoken in front of the EU?
Not really. I was referring to a article. This was from a few months ago, I think. Let me see if I can. Yeah, here it is. I thought of this again. This is probably not a direct connection, but Trump said, phase one. He called this phase one with Israel. I just kind of thought it was funny that Putin said a few months ago, he's ready to meet Zelensky, but only in the final stage of negotiations. This was the same week, by the way. I'd written about this.
This is like the 7th time that headline has appeared in the news. Like it's a freaking rerun.
Yeah, they say it all the time, and my point there is that particular week, that was in June, Trump had been saying, he put out a statement saying, Putin and Zelensky know the details of a negotiation nobody else could. And then Zelensky the same week said only Donald Trump can make peace between Ukraine and Russia. So they're all converging on that narrative. It does look like maybe it's going to be the final one. But they're telling you in so many ways, like, what do you mean the final stage, Putin? Because to your point, according to the public narrative, we're not in any stage.
No.
We're literally not in negotiations.
We're neutral.
Yeah. Nothing has happened. So, but you already know what the final stage is. Oh, and you're all also planning joint economic projects with the United States right now that are already like in writing. That's so crazy. Yeah, it's narrative reruns, and I don't know, just keep pulling it out until it's made public.
I'm like losing my alertness. I'm so tired.
Your heterosexuality.
No, I don't drive a Subaru like you do, bro. Don't try to put your gay on me. I want none of it. But no, we should talk about our lotion real quick. Speaking of gay, and then maybe go through the rants and get out of here. Might even try to get a little more work done tonight, but probably not. I'm so tired. So
hold on.
Oh gosh, how dare you?
We got to do our little switch nuggets. Just one this week. Okay. Switch theory nugget.
We'll see you in 20 miles.
Trump
I thought this was my show today.
Oh, okay. Well, this audience, nobody here watches your show. So Trump signs order approving 211-mile mining road in Alaska, but here's the quote. I signed this years ago and Biden unsigned it for me, Trump told reporters. This is something that should have been operating and making billions of dollars for our country and supplying a lot of energy and minerals. So one more. Chalk it up in the column of Switch Theory comms. Our boy Blue. He didn't say
a little different,
Biden
though.
Unsigned it against me. He said he unsigned it for me.
I know, but it is a little different because typically, like, it's Trump will do something, his idea, like start the process, and then Biden will carry it out. But then, like, what happens is when Trump gets back in, he flips the switch and it's hit. Like, this was something that was set to go, and Biden prevented it altogether. And now it has to, like, be restarted. Like the Keystone Pipeline situation. It's kind of similar to that, where they are looking to get it back up and running, but there's like all this permits and red tape and all blah, blah, blah. I still think the perfect example of the switch theory is the chips.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
I called it a nugget.
Nugget. A
Just
morsel.
a nugget, man.
A small.
Just a tip. Yeah.
A small nug.
Mm-hmm. Little tease.
Little tease.
Ghost also pointed out that Vladimir Putin is ripping off both the GART and the Sovereign Alliance.
How?
I'll show you.
Did he buy a GART Sovereign Alliance website or something?
He probably does have GART Moscow. Future lies in sovereign worldview. He's getting closer and closer to that copyright infringement. So you better be careful, Vlad.
Maybe
just because the series is partly about you, doesn't mean you can take it.
We should invite him. to Gart. Maybe he's a special guest that we're working on.
Yeah, maybe.
Just kidding, no.
But this is Russian presidents welcome participants of the Inventing the Future Forum in Moscow. Then he wrote an address to them. So as Ghost pointed out, that sounds like a lot of Gart panels. We're talking about futurism. We're talking about the golden age. We're talking about the sovereign alliance. Then Vladdy gets up there, decides to host one in Moscow, doesn't call it Gart. We all know what you're doing, Vlad. And he starts sovereign alliance calming. So we're watching it. We're gonna see how this story develops.
Anyway, okay, let's do a quick. Oh yeah, the Q Awakening says John will need a passport first before we plan Gart Moscow. People were asking me earlier, like which ambassadorship I would want if I could get one. And I've said I have no idea. I've never been to anywhere because I don't have a passport. So,
have you never been outside the country?
Never. I've literally never had a passport. Even though I've been accused of, like, if I committed a crime, I would flee the country. I've literally never had a passport and still don't. And I have no desire to, like, go anywhere. America's great, man. Why do I need to go to freaking Canada or Europe or any of these places?
Your entire eventual political campaign will just be like, have you ever left the country? I rest my case. Yeah, if you were a real American, you would never leave.
Stay here. I just have nothing that I really... I mean, it would be kind of cool to go to, like, Iceland. Is that the one with the blue lagoon thing?
The, like,
or Greenland, maybe?
The hot spring type of thing?
Yeah, it's hot springs, but it's like a funny color. But then my thought is, like...
That's artificial, by the way.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I could get a pool and make it that color. I could get a hot tub, make it that color. Like, I don't... You know, I could get a green screen with the mountains in the background.
I want Guard Japan. Because then I can make my own walking video that I eventually watch.
You just do it yourself. I mean, do you have to be in Japan to make those videos? Do they have a domain name for those type of videos?
Can't walk anywhere else.
Okay. That's what I figured.
There's too many Antifers around.
Antifers.
If you're just walking around, they'll get you. That's when they get you.
The Antifers.
Yeah, them and local fire departments. The two great scourges. I haven't seen Trump address that once.
Which one?
Local fire departments. And their driving skills.
He probably won't. Local fire departments should not have ambulances. I feel like that should be...
Maybe they stole the ambulance.
They're supposed to be separate things. That's a law.
Yep.
Anyway,
I'm dealing with the local deep state, so we'll see how that all goes.
I'm going to play our soft disclosure ad, and then we're going to do rants and boosts and get out of here.
Fine.
They say confidence starts with a smooth skin. And baby, soft disclosure lotion delivers.
I swear by this stuff. Like, I kid you guys not. This is the first lotion I've ever had in my entire life that, like, I don't get ashy after I put it on any part of my body. Like, my hands are always dry, and my hands have not gotten ashy without, like, rinsing them through water and washing them with soap since I started putting soft disclosure on. Like, it is black man approved. I kid you not.
Black man approved. You heard him. And let's be real. If it can handle his hands, it can handle anything.
Feet are like, they get so dry, like the heels of them, it'll just kind of like flake off. Like, but with soft disclosure, once you put it on, like it starts to absorb it.
Yeah, he went there. Don't worry, we won't show you his feet, but trust us, they're smoother too. Soft disclosure lotion is made with aloe, goat's milk, honey, and our exclusive oil blend that actually restores your skin barrier. Visit softdisclosure.com, use code Badlands, and get 15% off.
There you go, guys. Right. How many things you think can say that they're black man approved? Because our lotion is one of them. I mean, like,
right.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, maybe.
Definitely not child support.
No, probably not. Well, I mean, I don't approve of that either. But.
That's true. All right, we can get down with the brothers on that.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we could try making. Maybe we'll have to wait till maybe a Friday Liberty Day when Cam's there to help us compile a list of that. Like, what do you approve of, Cam?
Besides We're still going to be racist, lotion? But if he's there, somehow it blunts it.
It's less offensive.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think so.
Sounds like a future project.
Problem. We'll talk about it in Moscow.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have any boosts? Did you check?
We do. We have Lionheart. No, hold on. There's one from a few days ago. Bright Eyes, 1987, sent 25 bucks over. I've been in Europe for 3 weeks and out of the loop. What's your take on the digital ID the UK is implementing and how this fits into the whole idea of Trump and devolution?
I don't care because I'm never going there because I don't have a passport.
fuck Europe is what we're saying. That's how we feel, honestly. Fuck Europe. But I just think that I think Europe is the Elseworld cautionary tale that is basically accelerating in the wrong direction as the U.S. is accelerating in the right direction. And what I kind of think is going on here is that Europeans are being shown that in a very direct and unflinching manner. And hey, guys, you could be more American.
I feel like that's everywhere, though. American. You can describe it everywhere like that. Like, is there anybody else?
The UK is particularly the UK is particularly dystopian, I would say.
Real ashy.
Orwellian.
They sound real ashy. They probably never heard of soft
gay too. Just gay.
Gay. They probably
not
all drive
homosexual,
Subarus.
just gay.
Are Subarus made in Europe?
Japan. How dare you?
Just checking.
Japanese.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Any more boosts?
They're Japanese. One of the only car brands to have boxer engines, horizontal style engines. More cushion for the pushing, as they say.
Yeah, that's why.
Yep.
There's no pushing involved there with the lesbians, I thought, though.
Lionheart, many sevens. $100. Evening, guys. Apologies for going so long between boosts. Thanks so much for all you do, week in, week out. Don't always agree 100%, but I'm always forced to rethink what I'm seeing and hearing. God bless, Army of God. Thank you, Lionheart.
Who was that?
Hope you're doing well.
What?
Lionheart.
Oh, good to see you, man.
So I appreciate that. Very generous.
Oh, you know what? I got to get back to him. I think he sent me an email that his wife wrote a book, and they're going to send us copies, I think, to Gart. So I was like, he was trying to figure out the best way to get it to all of us. It's like, you could send it to me in my house, but then I would have to be responsible for getting it to each of you, and I wouldn't be able to handle that. So I think I got to remind him to get in touch with the event coordinator and figure out where to send those things so that it's not my fault when and if you don't
I'll
get
just
that.
have shit showing up at my house.
Yeah.
Get all this to Florida.
No, just at Gart. Just send it to the venue, and we'll get it that way. But anyway, thank you
and
for
1027 JS, $20. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, my fellow North Dakotan. See, why would I ever want to leave North Dakota when get rants from a fellow North Dakotan all the time? It's just great. Okay, we got a couple, and you can get the outro video pulled up if you want and get ready.
I got it ready to go.
Dak8869 says, Patel Patriot grandson. Oh, I did say granddaughter. I'm so sorry. Grandson with the initials BB. Okay, well, that's why I thought it was granddaughter. I knew the initials were BB. I just figured it was a female. But anyway, I had nothing to do with that. Just a product of nature. Thank you for the rant, man. Keith Higgins, with Scott Besson at the top of Treasury, could we finally see the mint printing Donald Trump dollar coins and $3 bills for Scott's sake? Nice.
Yes.
Keith Higgins, if Scott Besson's story is rags to riches, then the conversion of Milo Yiannopoulos is fags to bitches.
Did he become straight?
I don't know. I don't follow him.
Or has he never been out as gay?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure he was gay.
Well, he's definitely pretty sure.
He definitely drives a Subaru?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I honestly don't know for sure. I don't know. But anyway, Keith Higgins, all group are gay. And people is a power bottom group. Being a power bottom is the myth. The bottom is the bottom for a reason. Oh man.
Your microphone is all muffly.
Why?
Yeah, it was. It's a little better now. I forgot to turn my my fan thing off. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I've heard it the entirety of the show.
Whoops. I'm not turning it off now. That's how I stay fresh and fit.
Really appreciate you turning that fan off in the last 30 seconds.
What kind of 4 out of 10 slop goblins do they have right now on Fresh and Fit, by the way?
Oh, that's a good
Never have I clicked over onto that stream and seen anything approaching a 5.
I think, oh, they got Tom Luker.
Like a used up 6 is the best I've ever seen.
Well, there you have it.
That's a Thai lady boy.
There you go. We don't need to
got
listen
going
to
on. Let's rate.
Dom Luker's there, so that's all that matters. St. Pete, UPL. I think they're talking about this. Normally we require $5 for those videos, but we'll give you this one. There's a lot of
deflation. There's been UPL deflation.
Anna Palunalina. You Lufia says boost ? Yeah, if you go to badlandsmedia.tv/boost, you can leave. It's similar to a rant, except instead of Rumble taking 20%, we only take out whatever it is for credit card processing.
Doesn't John right now sound like one of the parents from the Rugrats chat?
What are you talking about?
Now it sounds fine, but it keeps being like muffled, like you're underwater talking through a tin can.
Are you sure it's not your headphones?
Now it's good. Pretty sure. It's good now. Something's going on over there, man.
I don't know. Maybe it's just my voice because I've done a lot of reading lately. Throat's a little sore. But yeah, badlandsmedia.tv/boost. And we only take out credit card processing. See, people are saying it too.
Yeah. It's better now, but...
The hell? I don't know what's going on.
It's fine.
Anyway, there was something else I was going to say. I forgot. Oh, I did figure out. So we do have a Badlands code, and I've been telling people it's just, Rumble Premium or whatever, promo code Badlands. But it turns out it's promo code Badlands 10.
Oh.
So now it should work.
We use that.
We do have a Keith Higgins. I think the Kardashians are black man approved, and I want to read.
It's true.
We have one Rumble Studio ad we can do. NFL Tune In Season. I don't think I've read this one before, but we're going to read it right now. Then we'll do the outro video. Hey, football fanatics. Are you ready for some primetime NFL action? Tune in to Westwood One for all the gridiron glory you crave. From jaw-dropping touchdowns to game-changing plays, don't miss a moment of excitement. Catch every snap, every tackle, and every victory on Westwood One. You can listen to the NFL on the NFL app, on the Westwood One Sports app, on westwoodonesports.com via Westwood One station streams, or by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports. It's the NFL. It's on Westwood One. Thank you, Westwood, and thank you, Rumble Studio.
I think we just got featured as we're going to bed. Well, we're not going to bed, but we're...
What timing is that?
They heard my comment about the slop goblins, and they were like, "He's right. Ain't a single thing above a 7 on that stream. It's brand damage." Rumble, I'm just saying. I understand the game. I understand what you're doing, but like,
you must not though, because you're heavily criticizing them.
Surely there must be some thoughts we can get into Rumble that are not at that level.
We got another rant here from Astro Emmy for $17. Here's some funds to root out the clowns from Badlands. You just wait for the clowns we'll be rooting out here in the near future.
Pretty clown free these days.
Yeah. Anyway, let's play that outro video. Get you guys out of here. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. I will be back tomorrow on the Daily Herald at 1 p.m. Eastern. So hopefully my mic doesn't make
Why did I
sound.
think of this clip? What was the context? There was perfect context for it.
Let's pull it up on the screen. Let me see what it is, and then I'll remind you.
It was something gay, but it's a hilarious scene.
Oh, it was the tables, the square table. I was saying the tables were touching
tip to tip. All right. Enjoy this, guys.
I'm sure we won't. Thank you, everybody. We will see you next time.
Even present tomorrow. Honestly, anyone?
Why do we have to present at all?
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, if we're going to fail and be humiliated, why do it on stage in front of 1,000 people in a live-streamed audience?
Yeah. Are you saying we shouldn't even show up?
No offense, but it's basically going to be a public execution.
Yes, and public executions are very popular. It's show business. We are not quitting, Richard. Look, I want to present. I do. It's just, I don't know. Jesus, are you okay?
And what? Yeah, Okay, yeah, all good. They let me go.
Who let you go? When was the last time you slept, Jared?
Yeah, absolutely, David. What are we talking about, gents?
We're talking about how I didn't get to present in the prelims because I was too busy getting my face pummeled so that our team could move forward. That's why we're presenting tomorrow. And you know what? We're going to win. Yeah, we're going to win even if I have to go into the auditorium and personally jerk off every guy in the audience.
That's a lot of jerking. And we only have 10 minutes to present, so.
So, we're fucked, aren't we?
Yeah, even if he's jerking 2 at a time, there are, what, 800 guys in that room, so that's 400 times whatever the mean jerk time is?
The what?
Mean jerk time. I mean, it doesn't matter, but hypothetically, time is equal to 400 total jerks at a 2-dick rate.
Unless Ehrlich jerks off 4 guys at a time, and then we can cut that in half.
How would he do 4 guys? He's got 2 hands, so that's 2 dicks at a time, right?
Look, you have 2 guys on either side with their dicks tip to tip, so you're going full length. 4, see? Oh, from the middle out. That does make sense. Like 2 shake weights.
Yeah, so what we're trying to do, hypothetically, is minimize time, which is 800 dudes multiplied by mean jerk time divided by 4 dicks at a time. Of course, Ehrlich would have to pre-sort guys by height so that their dicks lined up.
Not by height, technically. The measurement that we're looking for really is dick to floor. Call that D2F.
Huh. Oh my God.
You know, if a guy's dick was long enough, he would be able to reach up or down to another guy with a different D2F. The longer the dick, the greater the D2F bridge. I would still be able to jerk it off in one smooth motion. I would just have to jerk it on an angle.
So D2F sub 1 needs to equal D2F sub 2, and D2F sub 3 needs to equal D2F sub 4, where length L creates a complementary shaft angle. Call that theta D. Now, the orgasm threshold is a function of lambda sub I.
Such an idiot. Middle out. Middle out. Middle out. Oh my God. How could I just...
Guys, does girth similarity affect Ehrlich's ability to jerk different dicks simultaneously?
Shit, yeah, I think it would. Of course it does. Time to orgasm, or T2O, has to be the same for each matching pair of dicks. Otherwise, I'm wasting a lot of great strokes on a guy that's already busted.
Unless you hot swap dicks in and out, so on a downstroke, you get a new one in, so when you stroke up, you're not wasting any energy.
Even so, I think this is the most reliable metric for stamina.
Guys, Richard's been locked in here for almost 2 hours. Do we think he's okay?
You don't think he...
He did seem pretty bummed out.